Alright, so we're currently outside L&A Social. I've got a meeting set up today and I'm bringing you guys on. I've got Steven here with me, he's going to help me film, and basically I'm just going to go ahead and sort of give them all the things I've learned over the past few years, past few months, on how I scaled my e-com stores to like 30k days with students, personally scaled them to like 10k days, and I'm just going to be basically just giving as much value as possible, and I wanted to bring you guys on the journey. So yeah, I'll see you guys soon. Basically, I've been doing e-commerce over the past several years. I started with the dropshipping model. I don't know if you guys know that, where I would buy things, I would sell things from China. Every time someone would get a purchase, I would advertise on Facebook, customers would buy from my store, and if someone would buy things, I would go ahead and ship it from China straight to their house, so I wouldn't hold any stock.
Cool.
I was just selling products I didn't own. And then by doing that, I was able to scale multiple stores to over $600,000 over a period of a few months. And then I transitioned from doing dropshipping on my own to helping other individuals start up their own dropshipping business. So I transitioned into consulting, and I sort of helped like nearly 50 plus people online able to make an online income. Went from helping individuals to like small businesses scale their sort of e-commerce brands, and helped many individuals scale to like 30k days, 20k days off products they didn't own. So that's sort of my background, and it was just sort of all off Facebook marketing, using a lot of lookalike strategies, manual bidding, worldwide, and I guess that's sort of the things I want to share.
So manual bidding on Facebook?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
And yeah, I think the few topics I wanted to share was things I've been working on a lot over the past 6 months. So one is Instagram for brands. Two is YouTube. YouTube is like amazing.
Okay.
The YouTube content strategy, as well as Facebook. I wanted to share, what I did with lookalike audiences, manual bidding, how I scaled worldwide, things I've been doing with CBO, campaign budget optimization, that has been very good, and just sort of how I horizontally and vertically scale. And the last thing was like the lead gen for my consulting business. I don't know if that's something that you guys might want. That's another thing I'd love to share. Cool. So those are the sort of 5 topics. Yeah.
Cool.
So yeah, I guess we'll start with like Instagram for brands. Right now, what I've been doing with Instagram, a lot of people have been just posting content like every single day. So brands are pretty good with posting daily content, but what they're not doing is right now they're sort of just organically growing their brand.
Right.
Getting 5, 10, 50 followers every day, and they're posting every single day, and it's not really getting an ROI. What I've been doing is I've been running a lot of swipe up ads for Instagram. When they would swipe up, it would go to the Instagram page and optimize for the follow. So what I'll do is I'll go ahead and optimize for link clicks and just sort of run these brand ads, optimizing for link clicks, getting people to go ahead and see my ad. They're like, hey, if you're interested in, I don't know, cool phone cases, or if you want to learn cool tricks on how to look after your phone, swipe up, follow. And that's sort of what I've been doing. And
that's encouraging growth.
Exactly.
Right.
And then what I found is that the lifetime value of a new follower over like a 90-day period, when they're seeing your content every single day, that could be worth up to like $1.50 per follow. But using the strategy, you'll get followers at 20 cents each. So this is something that you could scale long term. You won't be profitable on the front end, but over a 90-day lifetime period, you'll become profitable. And what people are doing is they're just posting every day to a current following that's not growing at a good rate. If you sort of combine daily content with growing your follower count, like amazing results.
Okay, so it's link clicks.
Correct.
That's the objective.
Yes.
So it's traffic, link clicks, with the link as the page profile.
Yes.
Right.
So
I didn't know you could link a page profile. Could you do that?
As in like, you just use
the URL.
the URL.
Right, okay.
That makes sense.
Cool.
And then what you guys could do is, right now a lot of brands, they do that, but you know how you swipe up and you get this sort of weird in Instagram web browser? It's very unintuitive.
Yeah.
What you do is you can run an ad. No, you have to post a story on your main profile, and you boost that in Instagram. Then when people swipe up, it goes straight to your Instagram page, and there's no like weird web browser.
Yeah, that's what's like annoying.
Exactly.
Not through the back end.
Exactly. And you could also do it through the back end. That also works because when they swipe up, it's this weird clunky sort of version, but when they click follow, it redirects it back to the actual Instagram page.
Right, okay, got you. Okay, interesting.
And then
We've had a lot of clients, we're trying to move away from growth.
Okay.
Because we found that it's a bit of a vanity metric.
Okay.
And Facebook and Instagram obviously want to move toward more brand awareness and reach and things like that.
Yeah.
But we are finding that we have a few clients that need that growth to get into certain festivals or like they need like 10K plus or something like that to get into that. So we're finding this like we're trying to toe the line between encouraging them to be spending more money on reach and conversions and things like that rather than growth. But we sort of haven't really found a good platform that can help us do it. Facebook now recognizes us as bots. So if we try and manually engage and things like that, we're getting blocked out and stuff like that. So this is a pretty good alternative, I guess. Okay, cool.
And then like the bigger important reason why you want to do that is you want to build a remarketing list. You don't like that's sort of the front end goal, but the back end is now you have all these followers that are not only being primed through daily content, but remarketing to them with ads, so powerful. So like me remarketing on Facebook to my Instagram following, super high conversion rates.
Right.
And that's an asset you want to grow. You want to grow the Instagram following so that you can remarket them later down the road. If you have a new product, if you have new merch, if you have a new event, that's sort of why you want to grow the Instagram following to remarket them.
Okay, cool.
So that's sort of things I've been doing on Instagram. Next is YouTube. So I think I've been focusing a lot on YouTube recently. A lot of brands, they're just focusing on Facebook, Instagram, they're posting content every day, they're posting stories. But the half-life of that content is that you post it, people only see it for like 12 hours and that post gets disappeared, and maybe 1 out of like 1,000 people might scroll down and click on that post to see it. So the half-life of that content is like 12 hours. The half-life of content on Facebook is like 2-3 hours. Half-life of content on LinkedIn is probably like 2 to 3 days. But the half-life of a content on YouTube is very long. It's like forever. Basically, I have brands. I have this sort of music chest brand where we sell music boxes for different songs, and I would have a music video from 2 years ago that's still making our sales till today because it's organically getting views through the YouTube algorithm. Now, for example, let's say I have a Frozen music chest. Frozen 2 comes out. All of a sudden, YouTube starts promoting my Frozen music box video, and that goes viral on YouTube, and I'm getting free organic traffic and sales from that.
Right.
And if you're posting every single day, this just compounds on YouTube. And everyone's posting like, you're putting hours into these daily content images that you're putting on Instagram, but it only lasts for 12 months. We could sort of spend a bit more time, put together a short video, put it on Instagram, put it on YouTube, and have it make money and gain you traffic and build your brand awareness for years.
So are people buying in Australia through YouTube?
Yes.
What are the metrics on that? Like, is it a high rate of purchase
So
through YouTube?
here's an example. There's this channel called The Gentleman's Gazette. It's like a men's fashion YouTube channel. They have 800,000 subscribers, and that's a sort of mid-sized following. They're not too big, but sort of run by this one guy, and he has a men's fashion store. Every month, he gets 2.5 million views.
Right.
Organically, no paid, like that's organic free views, and at $15 CPMs, that's pretty cheap. We might be paying $20 CPMs to get our ads out to people on Facebook at a $15 CPM. He's making nearly $40,000 worth of free, high quality, intent driven traffic, because these are people that are searching for men fashion.
Yeah.
So he's getting $40,000 worth of free traffic. And that's what people aren't doing.
Okay, cool.
So similar to Instagram, what's more important is remarketing to viewers and subscribers. No one does this. I have no idea why, but I would grow a YouTube following. I'd remarket the users that's watched any videos of the past 180 days. I'd remarket them with YouTube in pre-roll ads, YouTube discovery ads, even Google dynamic ads. And those convert insanely high. Like I'll get cost per conversions at like, $3 to $5, whereas Facebook retargeting might you get a cost of per conversion of 10 to 15.
Yeah.
So that's like amazing. And I think people aren't building YouTube channels for the remarketing purpose. So a lot of money is being left on the table. Like if Logan Paul, who's like making, I don't know, I think he's making 15 to 20 million a year off his clothing brand, off his channel. Just like people just watching his YouTube video, and he's having to like plug in every single video, visit my store. If he went ahead and remarket to his millions of viewers, just like a pre-roll ad of his, clothing brand, he would make so much more money.
Okay.
So that's been awesome. And then, I've also been playing around Google Shopping. Google Shopping is very good. CPMs are super low. It's like $3 to $5 to like Australia, US, Canada. Cost of purchases are very low. And it's a nice, slow and steady stream of sales. So if people are searching up your brand, your product pops up, the image, the cost, and they could just sort of purchase it there.
In Google?
Correct.
So if I, give me an example now.
Search like music box. That top bar where you see a bunch of products, that's Google Shopping.
Oh, yeah, I know what you mean.
And I think like every brand should at least
get
their brand on that. It's like, probably takes, half a day to set up, but once you set it up, it's like, extra 5 to 10% of revenue, profitably.
Yeah.
Now, when it comes to the YouTube content strategy, I don't know if you guys want to get more into YouTube, but that's sort of, okay, so with the YouTube content strategy, it's like much easier than people think. If I were to go ahead and build a YouTube brand, I'll just start with posting old content from the past several years. Most brands have a bunch of old content from, TV, Instagram, Facebook, CDs, etc. I don't know, maybe they have some music. You want to just basically post these old content on YouTube every day, and it's just free traffic with zero effort because you're posting already existing content that's just sitting there and just dying out. So just free way to gain traffic. Post live shows, events, recordings, etc. And then once you sort of finish all your old content, what you can do is start documenting your company's day-to-day. I think a lot of companies make it hard to post video content is because they're going out of their way to film it. They're not documenting their company's process, documenting over creating. This is something I learned from Gary Vee, like showing off the behind the scenes, the design process, sketch time lapse of when they're designing their products, team discussions about the products, them reading comments, like them doing a half an hour video of them reading comments of their products, answering emails, like a 10-minute segment of how their customer service rep answers and help someone with a refund, packaging products, post, whiteboard sort of planning sessions, like stuff like that. People aren't documenting, and that's like something that you could easily do on top of what you're already doing. So you're not going out of your way. And then, when you build a team for this, like you just need someone someone to source content, 2, someone to edit the content, 3, someone for designing thumbnails, and someone just to manage the YouTube account. But technically, 1 full-time employee can perform all those tasks.
Right.
1 person that knows how to edit videos and edit photos, they can perform the whole everything. Walk around, film your content, post it up on YouTube.
Right.
So it's not too hard, and I think that's like an easy way to like get into the YouTube space. What would happen in the long run if you guys do this is you'll get a massive organic traffic from YouTube and build brand presence. You get a massive remarketing list, which is something I've emphasized, super powerful. Unlimited content now that can be now repurposed onto Instagram, TikTok, Spotify, podcasts, and any future social media platforms. And this would hold a market share on that niche on YouTube. Like if you have some health product for skincare, you want to have a market share of that skincare sort of niche on YouTube. And that's something people aren't doing. And then, you get direct access to customers and feedback to live users that are actively searching for that specific product or how to fix that specific issue. You're getting live comments, live feedback. These are people that are highly engaged. You're not sort of just doing Facebook ads, showing it to someone who might need this product.
Right.
You're helping people that are actively searching for it. And then, basically by doing this, you'll be building a machine that would have capabilities to take on every new social media platform, app, feature that comes out in the next several decades. So it's a very important sort of system you have to build. And then now let's get into the Facebook stuff. We'll start with like lookalike audiences. So most businesses, they only utilize like 1% purchase, 1% add to cart lookalike audiences, and that's it.
Okay, 1%.
Yeah, 1%. What we do is we go 1%, 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, all the way up to 9 to 10 for purchase and add to cart. And that's not only it. We do it for 3-second views on our top creative, 10-second views, all the way up to 95% views. View content, top users by time spent on your website, page engages, Instagram engages. No one is going through that many assets to create lookalike audiences on, and then missing on a bunch of powerful assets. How you get to bigger days is the volume of ad sets. More ad sets you have actively running equals more money. That's sort of the key I use. And in order to get a lot of successful ad sets, you have to test everything. And people are literally just going to 1% of purchase, US or Australian, that's it. And that's not enough if you want to hit those bigger days. So we do lookalike audiences for everything. And what we do is we multiply these, assets. Like there's literally, if you do 1 to 10 times that by all the different assets I just mentioned, that's like 50. We do that for like 20 different top performing countries based on the analytics.
What if we're only Australian based?
Then you would be stuck to that, 50.
Cool.
But that would be quite a lot. And if you're stuck to Australia based, then you would get more creative and you go more wider, and you would do lookalike audiences on your email list on people who would, view content, add to cart, specific product lookalike audiences. That's something people aren't doing. Batching. If you have a store that has a bunch of different products for different niches, so you have a product for skincare, a product for weight loss, you group all the people who viewed all the weight loss products into a custom audience and just do lookalike audiences of that. So you really want to get creative with how many different assets you can create lookalike audiences of, as well as refreshing them. After you create a lookalike audience on all your sort of purchases, say you had 10,000 purchases at the beginning of the year, do lookalike audiences on that, 1 to 10%. By the end of the year, you might have 50,000 purchases. You want to go ahead and recreate the lookalike audiences and refresh it. And that's something people aren't doing.
Right. So it's the data's getting stale, basically.
Correct.
Okay. And how often should that be done then?
You should be doing it once you've exhausted all the different assets.
Okay.
Then you want to recycle that whole process. And usually it'll take you 6 months to go through all those different assets.
Okay, cool. That makes a lot more sense. I feel like we're letting our audiences get a little bit old.
And then
I just thought that it would automatically refresh itself as a lookalike audience.
technically it does,
Okay.
but not based on my testing. Redoing it, I would get new winning ad sets. And I would only do one lookalike audience per ad set.
That wasn't the winning ad set before.
Yes.
Right.
So that's sort of what I've been doing with lookalike audiences. Now, manual bidding. Manual bidding only works on super high budgets. I know a lot of people that would run like $100, $200, $300 manual bids. They would set a bid to say $30. That's the average cost per purchase, and that's how people do it. And 9 out of 10 times, you're not going to get results. Manual bidding only works with super high budgets, and I'll do it at 1,000, 5,000, 10,000. And for the bid, I'll put that 3x my average cost per purchase. Now, here's an example. Let's say you are just doing normal automatic bidding for a teeth whitening kit, and you're paying $30 for a purchase. What I would do is I'll come in with a manual bid, bidding for $90 per purchase, and I would get all the high quality traffic in that niche.
Right.
I'll get a ton of purchases, and even though I'm bidding at 90, Facebook feeds me all the priority traffic, and as a result, the CPMs are super high because like these are high quality traffic, but they're so high quality that my average cost per purchase would end up around 30 to 35, sometimes cheaper, but I'll get volume.
Right. So reaching higher amounts of people then.
Correct. Whereas if you did automatic bidding at, let's say your average cost per purchase was 30, The moment you double, tripled, or went from $100 a day to $500 a day, you would see your cost of purchase increase because you're still bidding the same amount. When you want to hit high, if you want to go off volume, you have to increase the quality of traffic.
And the quality of leads.
And that's why manual bidding will allow you to stay at your current average cost of purchase, maybe even get it cheaper, but off volume.
Right. It's just not something that I don't think we've ever done that. We've never done manual bidding. I think we've trusted the process that Facebook would optimize based on best results, but sometimes that might not always be the case.
Yeah, I think what I've noticed is that when you're advertising for brands, you guys do things long term. You would have ad sets run for like months on months, and they sort of perform well, which is cool. And I think what I was able to get from doing drop shipping was how to go ahead and find this hot trending product and like push it out over a period of 2 to 3 weeks, get it viral, get millions of views to it, bring it to 10, 20, 30K days, dry out the product, and go on to the next product. And I think if brands were able to utilize some of these strategies, maybe they had a winning creative, they could really make the most out of their winning creative and push it out, get that creative viral, and go on to the next creative. That's what I would do with brands. It's all about finding winning creatives and just sort of scaling the hell out of it, and then moving on to the next creative. And obviously, those winning creatives, you could just sort of let them run at your sort of low budgets that you would normally let them run at, but really maximizing them at the time, place, and for whatever reason things are working well, you want to push it to the max. And the next thing I want to talk about is going worldwide. I know a lot of your brands might ship to Australia, but those that do ship worldwide, most people only stick to like top 5 countries: US, UK, Canada, Australia, New Zealand. But so many countries such as Germany, Brazil, Italy, Spain, Netherlands, Mexico, Japan, many more are so good. There's low competitions. As a result, you get much cheaper CPMs and you get way cheaper cost of purchases. And what I like to do is I like to do worldwide ads. I just go worldwide. I don't pick specific countries, and I let Facebook's smart enough when you're optimizing for purchase, it would know not to show your ads to say India or Vietnam, because it knows that people there don't have intent to purchase. And I let Facebook do its job. That does pretty well. And like even creating Spanish translated ads, having your creatives just have Spanish subtitles, Spanish ad copy, targeting like Mexico, Brazil, etc. Those kill it because again, low CPMs, cheaper cost of purchase, less competition, and like countries like Mexico and Brazil, there's a lot of purchases in those countries. They're getting like a stronger and stronger middle class. And then going worldwide with literally 5x your number. That's it's impossible to get past 10K days unless you're going worldwide. And then next is CBOs. CBOs have been amazing. I think Facebook is eventually soon going to make it mandatory, I think.
I think it's on its way. I had a catch up with our rep the other day and she said that it's on its way. It won't even be you can do a little toggle box. It won't even be that.
Yeah, it's going to be mandatory. I think they just want to follow the AdWords sort of system. But CBOs are amazing. CBOs allow you to do $1,000 to $5,000 daily budgets with confidence, unlike manual bidding. Sometimes with manual bidding, you're setting a bid of $90. Sometimes it might not work and you're spending $10,000 and it spends really fast. CBOs would give you confidence and you would know that you'll get 2 to 3x ROAS if you're doing it correctly. So what I'll do is with the hundreds of ad sets that we've launched using above strategies, what I will do is I'll collect the top 20 ad sets in my testing campaign and I'll duplicate them into a CBO campaign, and then that would do super well. And then what I do is I do this thing called CBO offspring, something that I sort of came up with, where if a $500 CBO, you always want to start CBOs at least $500 if you have 20 ad sets. If a CBO is doing well, you want to duplicate it. And what you want to do is you want to remove all the bad ad sets that didn't go well in that first offspring, and then inject well-performing ad sets from your testing campaign. On your testing campaign, you always want to be testing new ad sets, new lookalike audiences, new angles, and you want to be putting the well-performing ad sets that you've tested into CBO version 2. And then when you go ahead with version 2, you'll see that a bunch of ad sets perform well again and a few won't. Duplicate that again, CBO version 3. Take out the bad ad sets, inject new good ad sets in, and that's sort of how you get better and better CBOs, and that's how you go from a $500 campaign to $1,000, $2,000, $5,000, and the CBOs just get stronger and stronger over time. And then lastly is just like normal horizontal and vertical scaling. A lot of people with their brands, they just do 10 interests related to the product. Like that isn't enough. 10 interests is like, you can't just go ahead and what most people do is they would do like, if they were selling a handbag, they would have Gucci, handbag, women accessories. They're like, that's not enough. Like what we do is we test 50 plus single interests, and we really would like to think out the box. So for example, here's like an out the box example. Cardi B does very well for handbags. Like no one would think of targeting Cardi B. One, the CPMs are going to be much cheaper because no one's targeting Cardi B. Two, if you really think about it, people who are into Cardi B, they're more into luxurious, they're spending money, they want to look cool and flashy, and that's why it might work with a handbag. And
so you're only targeting one interest
yes,
per ad set?
yes.
Wow.
And you want to test at least 50.
We're both like, wow. Okay. Does it affect the quality of leads or quality of conversions if it's just like an obscure interest? Or is this in the top of the funnel still?
This is top of the funnel for cold traffic.
For cold traffic, okay.
And talking about that, I would only pick single interests that are at least 500,000 plus in audience.
For sure.
And
for sure.
Facebook is smart enough where if you're optimizing for purchase, they're going to look for purchases within that interest. And even stuff like, for example, law of attraction for teeth whitening care. Very strange, but you really want to think out the box. And people are literally just doing 10 interests directly related to the product, and competition is going to be so high. Like everyone's using 10 tests for a teeth whitening kit, teeth whitening, Oral B. Like you're not going to get purchases targeting the same thing every other teeth whitening company is targeting. And when it comes to rising budgets, going from like $10 to $12 to $15 and rising your budgets by 20%, super old school. What we do is we double. We go from 10 to 20 to 50 to 100 to 200. Once it gets up to around 250, from that whole process, we're editing the budget. Once it gets to 250, we then like to duplicate it. And we like to duplicate it from 250 to 500, and we duplicate it 3 times. We'd have 3 duplicates. And the reason why we duplicate it 3 times is you'll find that 1 to 2 out of the 3 would perform well at that new increased budget. And as well as you don't want to hurt the existing ad set that you brought from 0 to 250. If you go ahead and duplicate it from 250 to 500, it might just crash and burn, and you want to keep that one on its own. And yeah, that's sort of what we're doing when it comes to just horizontal and vertical scale. And lastly, for my lead gen for my consulting business is what I've been doing is like, a normal case study funnel, simple ads like, are you struggling to grow an online presence with your brand? Here's the blueprint. And then what I'll do is target small business owners in Sydney, for example. I would just target more things like law of attraction, how to make money online, stuff like that. And you want to throw up a video, a value video that actually gives them value and answers their questions. Like, for example, I could throw up this video. Like this video literally answers a lot of questions where we're in a lot of value. And what would happen is that, some people would go ahead and apply everything that was taught and go ahead and do it on their own. The majority of people would book in and call with me to get further help.
Totally. Because they can see the value in it.
Exactly. And then definitely you create high converting case studies where you just fill it with testimonial stories, overview of what most businesses are doing wrong, not giving any secrets away. And then obviously they'll get a much higher conversion rate, do a longer webinar, anywhere from 30 minutes to 90 minutes. That's sort of like the ideal case study period. And what's even more powerful is applying everything I said above with the YouTube and Instagram strategy and building my personal brand. Because through that, I'm able to create a multi-six-figure consulting business, which I couldn't have done with paid traffic. Paid traffic, like the paid traffic is going to cut into my margins. Like me retargeting viewers, a lot of them I don't even have to advertise them. They reach out to me for my help just because they see the value I post on YouTube, and it's free leads. And like it's 100% profit margins because I'm literally spending nothing on ads. And when I do run retargeting ads, I'm getting leads as low as probably like $7 for survey fill out.
Right, okay.
Whereas if you're doing that on Facebook retargeting, you might get that, it's probably around 25. Now if you do that with cold traffic, it's like as high as like 100 to 150. But obviously each survey application is worth like $300 to $400.
Yeah.
And yeah,
CPA is like reasonable.
exactly.
CPA is even more reasonable than $7.
Yeah, that's sort of what I've been doing. And when you have a personal brand, everything's more lean. You don't need like all these costs. You don't need investors. You don't need someone doing your ads. You don't need someone running a bunch of creatives. And I'm able to go ahead and build this sort of company with just virtual employees and a lean package and lean programs. And all the strategies that I said previously could apply to brands can also apply to your agency. And that's sort of what I've been doing with my consulting business.
Nice. Because they've
and
clearly
you want to
not
really
been able to understand it.
Segment everything where you would have you really want to tailor the ads to where they're in the funnel. Like if someone has added to cart, I would have a literal ad copy saying, hey, you're so close, here's another 10%
exactly.
Really tailoring it,
Yeah.
as well as putting the level of effort into those retargeting ads. Something that's been huge recently is frequency of retargeting. People aren't retargeting with a high enough frequency. For example, what I'm doing is I retarget anyone that's been to any of my websites.
Right.
And I would have literally 30 different creatives. People don't do that. Like people are retargeting their food top, like they probably have like 2 to 3 creatives that are for retargeting, but I have 30. And the reason why...
Sorry. Are we too loud? Oh. Wait, you're too loud. Okay, cool. I just didn't know that they were shooting. Okay.
And the reason why I'd have 30 is because if you only have 3, Facebook would not allow your frequency to get past like 5 or 6 because it doesn't want to annoy its customers and users with the same ad more than 5 times.
Yeah.
But if you have 30 creatives, you get the frequency up to like 15, and that's when people start converting.
Okay.
And that's what people aren't doing enough. You're wasting a lot of money getting that frequency to 5 or 6, but little did you know if you just sort of pushed it to like 10, spend a little extra money, easy conversions. And like what McDonald's does, they don't have the same ad everywhere. They want to show you ads on billboards, bus stands, TV, and they're all different, and you fall in love with the brand as a result. So that's why I have tons of different creatives, and every time I create a new creative, I somehow make it retargeting based and I put it into the retargeting funnel. Like eventually I want hundreds of ads in my retargeting funnel so that people are just seeing my product or my ads in different angles continuously, and eventually they'll click.
Yeah.
And Facebook would now, with ease, continually showing your ads because they don't mind showing different ads to people because you're not annoying them in that case. You're annoying them if you're showing the same creative more than 5 times. So that's something super powerful with retargeting I've been doing there.
I like that. Okay, cool. I think off the back of this, I want to chat to our boss just because we do things called Thrive sessions, which are basically education sessions that we get speakers to come in and talk to the team about some stuff. So it might be worth, I'm going to reach out to her just to see maybe if we can sort of catch up so that you can come in and obviously work out sort of an arrangement where you can kind of talk to the team, because I think that there are a few sort of insights. I'm unsure how we're going to go about it with the fact that we also have a Facebook rep, so I just need to like toe the line a little bit. But I think, definitely leave it with me. I mean, I've got your email obviously, but I think that I think it would be awesome if we could get a few of the other account managers there anything to say, because there are a few little bits of information. Maybe we can work on an agenda that will be tailored to what we do, especially for like brand awareness and stuff like that too. Because like I said, like the conversion stuff is sick and it's like stuff that we need to know. But right now it's not our primary.
Yeah, I'd love to know
clientele.
what your primary is, because when I came in, I have no idea what you guys focus on. So I just sort of went
that's
broad.
fine. No,
I think
conversion is a big one but again, it ebbs and flows. I think for us, it's a lot about brand awareness and a lot about driving the bottom line when we don't have like pixels or we don't have online stores and things like that. So for a lot of our brands, we have lots of brand awareness pieces that we then need to drive people into, like Dan Murphy's or BWS or things like that, which we can do collaborative ads with, but sometimes we don't have that luxury and things like that. So I think it's all about that like initial part of the funnel that we can drive results and drive metrics for them, like brand awareness, reach, costs, CPMs, like things like that, that they can actually, we can drive a number that we can say, like, this is how we're affecting your business at a social level, and then how we can trickle that through to whatever their bottom line is.
And what are the companies sort of looking for? Are they looking for how much more website visitors they've got and how many more followers they've got?
It depends.
How many visitors somehow for some?
It depends. So it depends for, like I said, point of contention has been growth, so followers has been a thing.
Okay.
Engagement seems to still be a thing, even though it is a vanity metric and we can't see likes anymore.
Yeah.
But for most of our clients, they've now moved into the brand awareness, like the brand recall metric, so the estimated brand recall, or they've moved into reach. So a lot of high reach, a lot of eyeballs seeing things.
Interesting. So if you're able to get a bunch of decent quality traffic reach, that'll make them happy.
Some they need traffic, some they need it's
I guess let me know what your clients expect, and I definitely can tailor, because when it comes to reach, getting, I've mentioned much cheaper CPMs, like you definitely want to be, if all they care about is reach, you definitely want to go through different avenues to get much cheaper reach. Totally. And I could definitely put this something more in depth on that.
That would be awesome. I think we need to sort of sit down and see what we can like pull out of that, because like I said, we're going through stages now where it's like you obviously gain clients and you lose clients and you gain them and you lose them, but we don't, like, they come in waves in the sense that, like, we have a lot of distributors that don't have a site. Instead we just have to do like a buttload of brand awareness basically and creating content. And then sometimes we only have a site that we can drive traffic to, but there's no conversion because it's a service and they can't. There's no way to convert in that sense.
Yeah. So I had like friends that were in the like social media marketing sort of space, and when he started, he was running a bunch of content creation, getting reach, growing brand presence. But if for some reason the company was going through a bad turn, or if the boss sort of woke up on the other side of the bed, the wrong side of the bed, it's like, how is this $5,000 retainer, us paying you, making us more than $5,000?
Yeah.
And he would be like, maybe the reach would, X amount would turn into purchase. Like, you couldn't really answer it. And only when he transitioned from doing content marketing, reach ads, to like conversion-based, just Facebook ads, where like, we spent this much, we made this much, here's your ROI, this is how much you pay us. Totally. They can't say anything, even if they woke up on the other side of the bed.
Totally. Agree, and I totally understand where you're coming from. And we've got clients like that. They sometimes don't have that capability. So sometimes they are actually getting as granular as like just making sure that the content is perfect, or even utilizing the different formats and aspect ratios and best practice and Instagram stories and things like that. So sometimes it's even almost just as granular as content.
Got it.
So there are clients that we have that need like tangible metric results, and others that need like fan sentiment.
Got it.
Which is like the other end of the spectrum. It's community management.
So with your company, for the baseline, you would have these consistent conversion-based companies, and then on top, everything's a bonus. Like,
pretty much.
Yeah. And then you want to keep growing that bottom line to get more and more conversion-based companies.
Totally, and we can grow the client in that sense and stuff like that. But there's it's so different. It's so different. So maybe if we can put together a list and we can kind of be like, these are what these clients look like, these are what these clients look like, these are what these clients look like, and have them in like an awareness or an engagement or just a purely content. Like we even have some clients that don't even do advertising. They just want to do content.
And what if you guys just focus on that bottom line and just keep growing that, because that's consistent? Why not focus on the bonuses and have them be bonuses, and just focus on getting more client-driven, conversion-driven clients? Like, look for brands, e-commerce,
it's just
lead
dependent. It sort of depends on our strategy at the time. So and like,
do you guys do outreach for clients, or is everything organic through word of mouth?
It's dependent.
Okay.
Dependent on the time of year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Dependent on the time of year. So the lead stuff that you had mentioned was actually quite a good. Yeah.
That was the meeting. Pretty fun. Like, I was pretty nervous, but I planned out a whole agenda. You guys saw the meeting. bit nerve-wracking, but in the end, I think they were very happy. They learned a lot of new things. What's your thoughts, Stephen?
Well, I think it was pretty cool seeing how like you were able to talk to them. Like, I kind of expected it to be like some like fancy ass company, like there was a bunch of executives around a desk, but it's a nice like friendly environment, and it kind of felt like we were just at home, we're kind of just at home, talking to people. It's pretty nice as well. It's something different for a change. I mean, I wouldn't have probably thought of doing this with Andy, but
yeah, so
pretty cool.
thank you for tagging along, Steve. Steven's the one behind the camera, so you guys got to thank you.
No worries.